Hello, my name is Charlene Lewis, and I will be talking about homelessness today. Um, Homelessness is a serious problem in society, and yet we don't really know what the value or effects it has on a human life. But yet, for me, my experience when I was homeless, it was very terrifying, scary. I was very afraid. I never thought I would be put in a situation in life that I had no control over, and yet I was in despair. At the same time, my doctor had told me, because I am diagnosed with cerebral palsy, my doctor had told me that my cerebral palsy was aggressing and told me that no longer could I work anymore due to the fact that I would be permanently disabled. As my cerebral palsy was aggressing and my disability was becoming more of a problem, he said to me that I need to get my affairs in order. And by saying that, I had nothing that can compare to the experience I had on the streets when I was homeless. Life is already a struggle every day, just being a single parent and just working 8 hours and then coming home and taking care of a child who is mentally disabled. But you know what? It's really rough on the streets when you're with your son and you're in the car and you have no place to go, and by me being homeless caused me to be disabled. I lost my job, I lost my apartment, I had nowhere to go, I have no family. My mother passed away last year. That really just put a lot of stress on me, and I was getting very depressed. At the same time, I still had to figure out how am I going to take care of my son who has mental health. And today he's 25 years old, but yet, you know what, during this time, he was 17, and we were struggling a lot and going through a lot of difficulties, not only in our personal life, but just having the basic necessities like taking a shower, having a bed to sleep in. Are we going to be safe? Who can we call to help us? And there was nobody out there that we could reach out to as a family member. So I was all alone with my son, and we slept in my car, and we slept in parks and on the streets, intense in the parks, where nobody could see us. And yet we woke up early and went to the YMCA so we can take showers. And still, I was worried about how we're going to eat for today. And in the same time, I went nights without eating so my son could eat, because he was my only priority, and I just wanted to keep him safe. As long as I was safe, we were together, and that gave me hope. And then finally I didn't realize what to do in that same sense, and yet I looked around and I said I have to make a change. Yes, being disabled didn't stop me from living, but yet it made me look at life in a totally different way, because now I'm disabled. I can no longer work. I'm permanently disabled. So, and the money they give me on Social Security has nothing to do with the value that you make when you're on the job and you're working, because you know what? It's triple the amount that you get for Social Security. So I could not pay for an apartment, and I couldn't keep us safe, and I didn't know what to do. And you know what? I struggled for days and days until I finally realized I have to make a change in my life. And by doing so, I started picking up the phone, making phone calls, trying to find resources, reaching out to people, and seeing if they could give me some information that might be able to help me, because I never in my life imagined myself being in a situation like this with my son on the street, having to worry about where we're going to eat, when we're going to sleep. Is it going to be safe? Are we going to be safe? the struggles of just those things and not having basic stability really, really put me in a whirl of down spiral. And I started getting depressed. And my son has mental health, so he was starting to go into a bipolar disorder where he started having suicidal tendencies. And, and I was starting to get depressed to the point where I couldn't feel that anymore. And I wanted to just not be here because you know what? I was struggling. I was doing everything I was supposed to, and I broke down and cried and realized that, you know what? This is not me. I got to change my life. So I picked up the phone and I reached out to hotlines for emergency shelters, and they were all full, and I just kept on plugging and trying and plugging and trying until finally somebody actually said, yes, we have a bed open. And you know what? They had a bed open not only for a woman, but they had a bed open for a man too, so my son could go into the shelter with me because I would not leave him by himself. And that's where I finally got basic stability. 3 meals a day, a shower, and a bed. And now it was time to turn my life around. And from that point on, I made a decision while I was in this emergency shelter, which was only 90 days to be there, and then you get kicked out or your time is up, and that means you have to leave out in the street again. And what if the situation stays the same? And you know what? I wasn't going to let that happen. So I made the choice to do everything I could, save all my money while I was there in the 90 days, and then turn around and use that to find a place to live after I got out of there. But not only that, while I was in there, I chose to make my life worthwhile, and I applied and registered at Ohlone College so I could get an associate's degree and be able to go back into the workforce as a disabled. So see, being disabled doesn't mean your life is over. It just means you have to rethink the choices you make, and still you could be very productive, and you still can work, because my body may be damaged, but my mind isn't. So I could apply myself mentally and be able to accomplish those goals and reach my determination for the associate's degree so I could get back in the workforce and become a stable single parent, because my son needs me and I love him dearly. So there is my hope. And I'm no longer homeless. And out of all of this negative and bad situation came a hopeful person that is striving and determined. And whatever grade I get, I get. But you know what? That's not going to stop me from getting to where I need to be.